Hi guys, it's me Karen and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Today I'm going to do part 3 on this page here. We're working in the coloring book of Four Seasons, the green cover, latest new book. We're working on the what I call coffee page because we're making a cup of or pot of coffee or tea, whatever this is. It looks to me to be coffee, so we were working on the coffee filter before we got interrupted last time. I'm going to make the stuff inside the coffee filter a little darker along with this outside piece here. Then I either move on to her or the whole background, because the background has got to go through this glass pot, and the background on the bottom also has to go through this pot also. So doing this one might have to come at the end. So we're going to go ahead and add in the coffee grounds in here. So hold on, I'll get you down a little closer. Okay, I'm going to bring in the walnut brown first. We're going to just darken in this area here, kind of make it a little splotchy and bumpy. Like so. Then we're going to bring a little black. When the water comes down, it gets this a little darker because it's going to be wet. So we're going to put some black in over here. Can also use some of that black and outline this coffee filter. Okay, now bring back in the walnut brown. I'm going to turn the page just a little bit here so I can see it a little better. Pushing a little harder on the pencil than I normally do. Then we'll bring in a little bit of the Van-Dyck-Brown. And then we have cork out here somewhere, so we'll add in a little lighter color. Just to give our coffee some coloration there. Okay, we used Ivory on this bits before we got interrupted by my kitty cat. So I'm just going to put some cork down in here, get those lines going a little bit. I have one of these for making coffee when we're camping. It sits on top of a cup, though it doesn't sit on top of a pot. Okay, this is going to be darker over here, so we're just going to go ahead and add a little of that on that side. This is a Holbein pencil, by the way. Forgot to put a tree trunk here, so we're just going to throw that in there. Okay, then we're going to go in with the, not that one, burnt sienna. I want it sharper though, so into my electric sharpener. And we're going to darken these. Going to kind of make those an arch and bring that down. Turn our pencil sideways a little here and just get some of that color coming down. Okay, we're going to go in with the Van-Dyck-Brown. Darken those up even more. Kind of indent these a little bit and make them a little rounder at the top. Move it a little sideways again and get this down here. Darken this kind of in an angle. Then we're going to turn it and darken the other side. Do this lightly and you'll still get that lightness coming through here so we can see our ridges. Okay, and then we're going to bring in the walnut. Basically do the same thing. Darken down here. Again, using a very light pressure on this. Now use this sharper point and just draw those lines back in so you can see them a little bit. Then we're going to run some black in there. Trying get you a better angle and get me a better line. It's lightly putting that black over the browns. Doing it lightly so you don't leave any lines. And you can still see the brown through it. A little heavier down here at the bottom. And then lightly bring it up. Right, I'm going to bring the cork in here. And then we will bring in, go back in with the Van-Dyck-Brown. I'm going to give a little dot of water splashing here. So I'm going to get out my eraser. I needed to pull the erasing part out. And we're going to have some splashes going that way, but we're going to have a splash coming out right about there. Just to have a splash kind of hitting it in a couple spots. Here, and then we're going to put a highlight across here at the bottom. We're just going to take it right across there like that. And maybe just a little bit to help those down a little bit. We're going to take a little bit of the ivory. Just make sure we get some of that color in there. There we go. Now that only took, I don't know, 20 minutes or so to do. So we got that done. And we'll get her started. I need to get out some skin tone. Wherever I hid those. Her face is pretty small, so we're only going to use 2 colors. Cinnamon and beige red, which is your light flesh tone. So that's the first color we're going to put down. Just gently put it on her face, her hands, and her feet down here. A little bit there. Darken it under her chin a little bit, on her eyes, up here on her forehead. She's got a tiny little nose here, and tiny little mouth. I'm going to go in with the cinnamon. And I have to make a point here because I don't have one. I have to get to a tiny little nose here. So at least you can see a nose and a tiny little mouth. So you can kind of see it. It's not terribly big, and we want to get a pink cheek on that. So I'm going to find the Holbein, there we go, cherry blossom, which gives a really soft pink. So we'll give her pink cheeks, pink kind of lip, and a little bit of a pink chin there. A little pink in her hands, a little pink on the top of her feet. Bring in a tiny bit of white. I'll make sure it has no other color in it, like the blue I used up there, so I have to sharpen that and then rub the tip a little bit. We're just going to give her a little highlight here. A little highlight on the top of the eyes. A little bit on the tip of the nose. Just to help blend all this together. It's a Holbein 501. Just softens everything up there a little bit. There. Okay. Dust all that off. Her hair is brown-black. Dark brown, almost black. So we're going to put some brown in here first. This is the walnut brown. Maybe I should put a lighter color. But going with cork first. Just in some spots, just to give her some highlights. So if you think of her hair as mountains and valleys, we want the highlights on the mountains. Lowlights on the valleys. Put a little red in there, can't we? Just a tiny bit. This is the sienna. We're just going to start bringing some of this hair down in the little curls she has. Again, not a real big area. So just kind of follow the darkness as your shadows and lightness as your highlights. That should be enough of that color. Okay, and then we're going to go in with the walnut brown. Darken this up. Darken her eyebrows while we're at it. Then we'll bring in the black. I need a sharper point on that. Keep turning the pencil so you have a sharpish point on that. Go over all of it with the black, gently. Okay. If you want, you can always add in a highlight here or there. If you don't clean your eraser, see how dark it is there? It's black. You can end up smearing that, but sometimes that helps out when you're trying to get a hair color. It'll smear the black and you'll get that nice little gray tone or your highlight there. So you can use that as your advantage when you're doing this kind of hair. Want that here a little darker, so I'm just going to darken it with a light touch of the pencil. Pull out some little hairs here because nobody's hair is that perfect. And she had one hair coming down her face. I darken her eyebrows, darken her eyelashes. We're going to get a little bit of a darker pink for her lip, just so it looks like a lip, not a line. Boom. Tiny bit of that on her eyelids. All right, onto her dress. Now, on the other side, her dress has got stripes in it. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to give her a nice dress, which is going to be about the same color as the coffee in here. What color did I use for that? I have no idea. It should be out on my desk, but is it this color? Yeah. Okay, we're going to add in a little Alizarin crimson here. Follow her wrinkles that she's already got. There's going to be a couple of them on her sleeve. Definitely around the elbow and the shoulder. There's going to be a couple of wrinkles on her chest area. And it'll be darker in here. One, that's where the arm is, and that's where a fold will be. I'm very, very, very lightly with this pencil. Another crease there and a crease here. There's a tiny little crease there, and then we have a cuff. I'm just barely touching the pencil to the paper. Okay, our dress is going to have the wrinkles that come down from her sitting on it, and then also from her knee. And her waist is going to have tucks. Again, this is a high spot, this is a low spot, so we can bring up some color into here. Lighten it going that way, and some color up in here. Okay, we're going to add a little terracotta into this. Terracotta was used up in the coffee pot. So I want to bring some of that down here. That's a nice highlight color. Okay, we're going to turn it just up a little bit here. Putting just a little bit more pressure on it. Then lightening it as it goes up. Okay, we're going to bring in white. We're going to highlight this area here. Anywhere we have a wrinkle has to have a highlighted area too. This is the Holbein 501. Use it lightly, it'll blend everything together and make it all soft. Use it heavy and you can get a nicer highlight to your wrinkles. Add just a little bit more of that red in there. I'm going to get out a ink. So hold on. I brought out Victorian Velvet. This is the color that I'm going to use in the background, along with some gathered twigs, but I'm going to use a little of this in her dress. So I just have one of these mini detail thingies from Tim Holtz, and we're just going to add this in here. So just rub it on there and add it in. Gonna add a little of this into the coffee pot too. Little inner shoes. Okay, the white pencil that you notice that I have down there will not take the ink because it is a wax base. So we're going to kind of blend that in with that by adding just a little bit more of the white. On the top. And then we will find, oops, so sorry that cut on my watch. A little buff titanium, which is a luminance pencil, which will help blend out some of these lines here. We're going to bring in a little of that pink. Cherry blossom. This is making a big muddy mess, but we're going to keep working on it until it comes out right. This is cinnamon. We may end up putting those lines in here. I don't know. I'm going to try a little Tombow here with a blender. So the Tombow is number 757. It's a deep red color. And the colorless blender is just that colorless blender. I'm going to stick some of that in there. See if that can help me out a little here. let that dry. Hate to leave it on that, but it's got to dry. We also need to darken the base down here. So I'm going to turn this a little bit. We're going to take our walnut brown, it starts up here, and I'm going to bring it down a little bit using the side of the pencil. Going to darken the shadow under here with the same color. A little bit of burnt sienna here. If you see that crumble, I'm scraping up some of the Holbein color. So the wax is coming up a little bit. It's not the Polychromo. It's the Holbein color. I want that to blend in a little bit. Go in with the cork. Not liking that crease, so I'm going to try to darken it up a little bit. We'll bring in some of the gathered twigs. Add a little of that in the tea or the coffee strainer, whatever it is. Some in there too. Maybe a little in the trees. As you add it somewhere, you gotta add it a few spots. Okay, and we'll add it up here into the coffee pot too. There we go. Okay, that helped to dress that a lot. Alright, now all I have to do is decide if I want to put in all those stripes. I think they're blue. Stuff on my hands. Go away. They look to be like a navy blue, but there's no more blue in the picture. So if I do them, I would probably do it in a dark brown, like the dark sepia or something. Let's see. If we do that, that has to be really sharp. And continue to be really sharp. Let's see. stripe starting there. I don't know if you can see that. If it starts there, then let's go down this side. And it just kind of goes down like that. Ends up over here somewhere. Okay, then we go up, eep, and do it again. This one will go back further. About there. Okay, and another one up here. Doing the same thing. And it's just gonna end right about there. There are more that work on there. How many do we go up? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And this one comes this way. We're going to go up, but this one doesn't get an up because it's small, and this one does, and it starts right about her leg. And it all kind of curls around her waist. Okay, you get about here. And it curls that way. Okay. Well, they're temporary lines. The arm has got a line that goes straight up. A little bit at the elbow. And nothing on the top. The top has got a small line over here. And a bigger line here. And then where here? It's right across about here. And then across down here. Okay. The arms go this way. just kind of darkening some of the areas. Then we're going to bring in a black marker of some sort. I've got a black Sharpie here. It's a fine tip. Just going to darken some of these. Then we're going to get black Tombow, N25, I believe this is. And we're just going to do the same thing with the blender pen. Sure we are. Yeah, so I'm using that blender pen. It's still got to be on my desk somewhere, right? Okay, we're going to go in on the hair and just kind of help that look a little more blended. Oh, well, this is going to be it. I just heard the mew getting out of bed. Just adding a little of that color down there to help blend the marker that I put in. Okay, that will be it for me. I will show you what it looks like, the whole page. Hold on. Okay guys, that's what it looks like right now. I hope you're enjoying, and I will see you in the next one. I'm going to add just a little of that black up here also. Anyway, kitty cat's up, so I've got to go. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section down below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Play with this forever because that's what I do with pages, if you haven't noticed. I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye now.